It's good to see a lot of familiar faces back here at the hall. Ex-community members, property owners of the past, and in the last 25 years in this area, Womboota and surrounding area, there's been a big decline in population, and there's not many families sort of out here anymore. A lot of farms have been bought by the neighbours, and it's good to see you back, and it's good to know that the property owners are doing a really good job out here, and they're a very close-knit community. Today we've come to celebrate a family's history or work that they've done in the Womboota area in the past, and we've come today to honour that family, the Griffiths family. I welcome them here today, all the Griffiths clan, and we're going to name the old cricket ground down the back of the whole area here. We're going to name it the Griffiths Cricket Ground today, so that's a great honour for your family, and you should be very proud of that. I was thinking the other day, that probably if you added up the beads of sweat that has probably fallen off the foreheads of any one particular family in this district, I think the Griffiths family, they'd be at the top of the list. I think the amount of work that they've done and the foundation stones that they've laid on a number of properties, a lot of properties, most properties in this surrounding district, is something you should be proud of. And I'd like to ask none other than Ron Watson to come up and pay a tribute to the Griffiths family. So if you could welcome Ron to the stage, thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, here's Ron Watson by name. It's a real pleasure to be doing this today. And I'm afraid I'll have to read most of it because it's written and I can't remember it all. Mr. and Mrs. George Griffiths came to the Womboota district in 1913. They came here from Cloverham to live and work at Glenroy, with Mr. Griffiths driving 2 horses in a wagon carrying all their furniture, and Mrs. Griffiths driving a gig. They also had 6 children at that time. 4 more children were born at Glenroy, and by 1921 the 16th of their children had been born. In about 1924, Mr. Griffiths bought a 16-acre block of land closer to Womboota with a house on it, moved the family to it, and for the first time the family had a house of their own. With help from local ladies, Mrs. Griffiths looked after the children as well as cooking for the hay threshing men and shearers at shearing time. Sometimes when Mr. Griffiths was away working, she would also have to kill and dress the rationed sheep. Each week, Geoffrey and Hume, grocers in Echuca, sent a cartload of groceries to the Womboota district from which people bought their weekly needs, and Mrs. Griffiths took the gig to the village to do her shopping. 7 of the Griffiths boys were in the armed forces, and as if she did not have enough to do already, Mrs. Griffiths and other village women knitted and made clothes for Comfort Fund parcels to be sent to servicemen. Sadly, one of those boys, Fred, did not return. Mr. Griffiths was always working, whether it be post cutting, fencing, sewing bags, or general farm work. Can you hear that? You okay there? But he worked at Ivanhoe, Richmond Park and Perikuta, to name a few. Max tells me that his grandfather had a bit of a quick temper, and while working for Mr. Rolly McKinley, they had disagreements several times over the years, whereupon Mr. Griffiths would drop tools, hop on his bike and go home. Don't need to be back in the morning as if nothing had happened. Mr. Griffiths, Arthur and Doug picked oranges in Perracuda for some seasons, and they lived in a sleep out that used to get up near the homestead in which Mrs. Norman Faulkner used to sleep. She had TB and she lived outside the homestead. There's the sleep out had been moved down to the pine trees near the stables, and the Griffiths slept in that and ate at the cookhouse. Betty worked at the packing shed for several seasons. I was the fat nuisance of the kid running around the packing shed, but Betty was always kind to me, and as she always remained. Mr. Griffiths must have fenced many miles of country around here, and the first time I was aware of the wonderful job he did was when Bill Zealy bought part of Mayfield, and he mentioned the fence that had been made by Mr. Griffiths about 30 years before. The posts were so solid they could have grown there, and the wires were as tight as the strings in Hector's guitar. And we were very fortunate to have an all too brief piece of the 16mm film showing Mr. Griffiths sewing bags in 1945 and 1946. Of the Griffiths children, the first I can remember is Maury, travelling from shed to shed with his two-stand plough. He was the cleanest shearer I've ever seen, and although he was not a slow shearer, he never appeared to be in a hurry. And I believe that his older brother Jim was an even cleaner shearer, so he must have been magnificent. When he retired from shearing, Maury became the Murray Shire weed inspector, travelling about in his ute with a 44-gallon drum in the back with the top cut out, and when he cut a weed, he threw it in there. And he always had a drum pretty nearly full of weeds. And the roadsides and reserves never looked better. He and Mrs. Griffiths had a lot of chooks at their home on the corner of Kalula Road and Womboota Road, and they sold eggs all around the Shire. We had a regular order for a large box of eggs for the cookhouse where 15 or more men ate. Bernie Mullins, our mailman for 40 years, and whose wife was Dorothy Jean Griffiths, shuttled the box back and forth each week to empty and full. Maury and Mrs. Griffiths used to spend many hours at the Sheepwash Lagoon and river fishing, a pastime that appears prominently on the Griffiths coat of arms, along with dinner and play and work. Of all the Griffiths who ever fished there, they all took care of it as if it was their own. Murray had the longest fishing rod I've ever seen. It must have been about 12 or 14 feet long. It was bamboo, and the line was the same length as the rod. And Max says that he used to flick the fish out as soon as he got a bite. Doug, Mally, Hector and Max all used to fish there, with Doug fishing there a lot more often as he got older. And I was honoured and flattered when he gave me a copy of East of the Village, George and Margaret Griffiths and Family, 1987, and also a copy of Douglas Kitchen and Griffiths, This Is Your Life. Of the younger Griffiths, I was pleased to get to know Bev when she and Norm ran their parcel delivery service between Echuca, Bendigo and Swan Hill. It was a sad day when they stopped running that excellent business. I also had the pleasure of playing in the Womboota cricket team with Hector for a few years until he transferred to Echuca East. Hec was a very good fast bowler, and I much preferred to play in the same team as Hector's against him. He always seemed to bowl twice as fast against us, and he was always rather frightening and difficult. Hec carried on the wonderful tradition in the family to become a good shearer and to later be an instructor for the Australian Wool Board for 15 years. The musical tradition in the Griffiths family started with Hector's grandfather, followed by his father and Doug, who entertained so many people with his piano, accordion and singing. And then came Betty, who played the piano, accordion and mouth organ. It has been well and truly carried on by Heck with his country and western singing, and I hope that his music endures for as long and as well as his grandfather's fences. I also had the great pleasure to play Womboota with Max for 20 years, many times out here on the ground. Max was such a very good batsman, a good left-arm spinner, and a brilliant fieldsman in any position. He was great to watch. He was also an excellent attacking captain, and under Max's captaincy in the last few years that I played, they were certainly my most enjoyable. It's about 60 years since I first played here, and it does not seem to have changed at all, with the beautiful box trees always the same, whether in good times or bad. Many people here today either played for Womboota or had relatives who did, and they include the McKinleys, Bremners, Leaches, Harrisons, Griffiths, Fitzpatricks, Andersons, Prestons, Holshers, Homefields, Stevens, Perrymans, Edgars, Davies and Watsons, all who contributed to the history of Womboota. Under Mr. Rolly McKinlay as captain, Womboota won several Womboota Cricket Association premierships, and since then we haven't had the success. One of the most remarkable events to have taken place here in 1938 was the match between a team of 11 Griffiths brothers and a District 11. Unfortunately for the Griffiths, they lost, and when the match was reenacted 50 years later, the result was, unfortunately, was the same. Before we transferred our home games to the Park Oval in the mid-60s, another remarkable event on the ground here was when, against the nondescripts, we played against the nondescripts. The nondescripts made 4 for 317 for the afternoon, with Jerry Jackson making 150. Not a good day for us. Then, better than that, 2 of our players also made their top scores here as well. Max made 160 not out, and Hector made his top score of 39. That laugh, I made 36 one day, and I thought I was ready for the Australian team.
I did hold a record without a thigh of 9 maximum, right?
Many people whose names did not appear in the scorebooks and who deserve our deepest thanks are our wives and families who served us such wonderful afternoon teas in all kinds of weather. We salute you. It's been a great pleasure and honour to speak today to acknowledge the contribution of the Griffiths family to the Womboota district. I've only spoken of the ones I knew and know. The Griffiths history would fill a large book or make a fabulous TV series. The family has led by example and has set a great example for us all to follow. They've worked and played and served the community with great distinction wherever they may have been.
Thank you very much, Ron. That was a fantastic tribute and history of the Griffiths family in the past. I must apologise, I forgot to read out a few apologies of people that couldn't make it here today. These are as follows: June and Kevin Winnert, Peter and Barb Preston, Jack and Barb Fitzpatrick, Jeff and Helen Kiefel, Wilma and Ken Gamble, Elaine Holshear, Jill Watson, Shane Griffiths, Hugh and Jane McKinlay and Ian Ferguson.
Excuse me, can I add another one to that? Dorothy and Lloyd Nealon family.
Very good. What will happen now, we'll all go outside and we'll walk down towards the cricket ground for the unveiling of the new sign, the Griffiths Cricket Oval ground, and we'll ask Griffiths to do the unveiling of that. And I hope today brings a lot of memories, revisits a lot of memories from the past, and I hope you share a lot of good times with the other people that other generations, the younger generations. And I'd like to thank, put your hands together for the committee for all their hard work of putting today. And feel quite welcome to walk down and have a look at the cricket ground. It's in pretty good shape, but you wouldn't want to face Heck Griffiths on the moment. There's a few mean cracks running through it from the old Malfoy days of the past. But after we have a good talk and have a look down there, we'll come back and have some afternoon tea. So thanks very much.
Stand up, can I get a photo?
Probably not.
Ready for
Had a place here put up. It was a bit of a wreck of a building. I thought that's a wreck. It was probably REC recreation area. So today it's got a name. It's not the wreck.
No, concrete slab still over there, Hector.
But in future this recreation area here will be called.
Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to officially name our new cricket ground the Griffiths Cricket Ground. Thank you.
I think Lindbergh's cut it out. That's 3 there out there.
Excuse me.
Hey, Pat, how about Santa Friday? You over, you go over.
You're probably up the back, gas bagging.
Tom, get your mum in there, Kim.
In the backyard of the
Like your mate trade. Lucy.
Everybody look in the face!
Hey, up here. Over here. All out. Let me run.
There's two wide in there!
There's a boy.
The video so she wouldn't miss out, which is good.
There's been words, so I'll see you next time. No, I would just like to thank the Womboota all community for doing this today and good gathering we've got. It's good environment. Hard working with the swimming over the years, it's very much appreciated that it can be remembered. But the cricket ground didn't have a sign on it, looks great. Griffiths Cricket Ground, saying their favourite sport, I think overall of the Griffiths would be cricket. In that 38 game, I was looking through the scores the other day and there was Womboota made top score 28, Burby made 16, Fred made 14, two others got 4 or 5. But they had a great day, so they reckon. Anyway, as far as cricket generally, the 2 premierships in 1945, 46 and 46-47 were pretty treasured ones by the Womboota Cricket Club and the Chief Association, and Alan and Kevin and Griffiths were playing in that side. They were about 17 and anything. But they were playing with great cricketers like the Redden brothers, Harrisons, Kinlays, Lockie Sparrow, But I noticed that film up there, Ron Watson has of 37-8 shearing at Paracuda. I was going there before, and that's pretty interesting. Doesn't seem long ago, but it is a long while ago. I was born around that time, so I didn't get to see the filming of it. And but as far as work goes, the old fella George Vincent Griffiths, who incidentally his birthday will be the 5th of November, a couple of days' time, and Brad Guy Fox Dave seemed to suit him, I reckon. He said he could have a bit of a yarn occasionally, and the blood heated up. Yeah, I had the opportunity to work with the old fellow a bit, and a lot of the uncles. Didn't last long with any of them, but learned something with all of them. But initially, the old fellow taught the boys to sew bags, tents, and hay stacking, split hay, and a lot of seasonal work in the area that made it convenient with a lot of boys, brothers, his family. There was also some available later on in the 20s and 30s. They were available for some work with a lot of the farmers. Many employees, my friends survived our association. I won't say much more, I'll start telling fibs. They weren't thinking about the environment, bees, a little bit of that. So good having a good day, and thanks again to the Womboota committee for the opportunity for all of us to be together. Thank you.